So now that we have an introduction on priming, let's talk a little bit about the knowledge that we currently have behind it. We're going to start with Barry Schwartz. He spoke of three specific components of the human processing system that starts with the input modules. These input modules are what takes in the information for humans to process. It is then transferred to our sensory processors, what he named them, what he decided to know them as, that actually transmit and convert the data into usable information. Once it is usable, it goes to the central system, which actually utilizes the information. So it goes from input, which takes it in, sensory, which processes, to the central system, which utilizes. It's basically just the general passage of information on how we process data mentally. We intend to prove that by influencing the way that the input modules take in the information, that we can actually influence how the central system utilizes it. To talk about the actual potential effectiveness of priming, I want to talk about Tom Buchanan's research in 2015. He actually did an experiment where he made some simulated Facebook pages, and the ads on them either had standard regular, nothing, just standard ads, or he added some violent content to them. By adding violent content to them, he found with a significant amount of research data that they actually increased aggressive levels of cognition in the viewers. So this suggests that stimuli actually can and do affect reactions of later stimuli, and not just making you think of something, but your general mindset at the time. Another study by Kirchner, Volker, and Bach further enforced legitimacy of primacy, but in more of a negative fashion. By priming adults with negative stereotypes about the elderly, they were actually able to slow down their processing rate for their just general performance on a specific task, which means that not only can it affect your mental state, but can actually affect your performance as well. That's what it suggests. On the other hand, though, Engeser and Bauman conducted 3 pilot studies and 2 experiments and were unable to discover any reliable or consistent effect on priming whatsoever. And they actually have a strong belief that most positive findings on the topic of priming either relate to a data skew, some type of bias, or even by the researchers influencing the power of their P to make their findings seem a little more legitimate. So while we are aware of the conflicts, and with the current information, we hypothesize that impressions can be influenced by positive or negative information being relayed first to your input modules in a matching manner. And now we're going to move on to methods. Thank you.